Welcome back, guys. My name is Sarah. I went to Balboa Park for December nights, so you don't have to. We came here pretty late, probably like 8:30 p.m. The whole entire thing is only Friday and Saturday, and it only lasts until 11 p.m. So the majority of the people are here right now, and we can see all of that. So I don't know if you can see all the crowds, but yeah. recap of the night. So lots of food, lots of vendors, lots of performances, and lots of people. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's kind of like a Christmas themed 626 night market. There's like hot chocolate, tons of different cultural foods. The cultural houses were also out and about selling lots of food. Also a lot of like local vendors and stuff. So it is nice if you don't have anything to do or if you want something Christmas themed to go to in San Diego. So oh, and there's a lot of beer gardens. So yeah, if you want to try beer or wine, but the lines are packed for mostly everything, but the beer gardens for sure are definitely saturated. All right, guys, so I'm back in my apartment and I just wanted to go over some stuff about December nights. Would I go back again? Maybe if I went with somebody. I wouldn't go by myself. I do like to go to some events by myself, but this one is very, very packed with a lot of people. I feel like it would be a little overwhelming to do it by myself. So especially if you're an introvert, it is a lot to go to because of all the crowds. But if you're an extrovert and you like, you know, being in tight crowds and spaces, then this is a perfect event for you. I just enjoyed it because I've never been to December nights before, and it kind of reminded me of, you know, community and going to see all the different events, and the live music is also a really good incentive to go. If you like live Christmas music, there's a lot of choirs, a lot of a cappella groups, live musicians singing. The upside, lots of good food. There's also like the beer garden, lots of coffee and hot chocolate. The downside, the biggest downside I would say is probably the crowds. So if you're not into tight crowds like the Del Mar Fairgrounds or Disneyland, then this can be a little bit overwhelming, especially because it is at night and, you know, tight crowds, you know, low lights. It can be a lot. The second downside and the second biggest con of December nights is probably the parking. If you have a disability, it is going to be a lot harder to be accessible if you don't want to pay the parking fee. So in certain areas around Balboa Park, it is a $35 fee for the day. If you have a seasonal pass to the zoo, then you can circumvent that, and it's also part of that package. But if you want to get even closer to the event, so say like right behind Spreckles Oregon Pavilion, then it's going to be a $50 charge. So in my opinion, it's not worth it, but also I don't need as much accessibility as some people do. So I was okay walking the 23 minute walk from the San Diego Community College and the high school and going across the bridge and then walking to Balboa Park, just as regular pedestrian. If you are planning to come here next year and you don't want to pay $35 or even $50 for parking just for a few hours, my family and I went to the San Diego High School. They have 3 different lots that are free to park at, and you can even take a shuttle, which is free, on 6th and something. I'll put it right here, the intersection where they pick people up. But it is kind of a line because it's a bus and sometimes it can get really packed. So we just decided to walk the 20 minutes and it's really not that bad. Of course, if you have, you know, a disability, that might be a little bit harder, and you can take a lift from the place or the shuttle, of course, or if you have a stroller or something like that. But it is definitely a very good option to take if you don't want to pay an absurd amount of money for a free event. So that's what we did. We went to the high school, parked there for free, then just walked 20 minutes to Balboa Park, and it was fine and dandy. Of course, if you want to Lyft or Uber, you can, but you might be stuck in traffic. There is also the free shuttle services from the community college and the high school, but there is a line, especially if you go during the busy hours. And I would say the busy hours are probably towards the end of the night, especially on the Saturday, the last day of December nights, because keep in mind, December nights is only Friday and Saturday. So unfortunately, if you been wanting to go, it is only for 2 nights, but the lights and some of the decor will be there on the next day, Sunday. So I did that last year. I went by myself. I went during the evening, and I was able to see all the Christmas lights and all the decor that way. So pros, you get Christmas theme, Christmas vibes, lots of food, lots of live music, and lots of people if you like that. Cons, lots of people if you don't like that. The parking, yeah, those are probably the two biggest cons, is the crowds and the parking, but they can be pretty tedious or overwhelming if you're really not into that kind of thing. So hopefully this video helped. When I was doing research on December nights, especially for the parking situation, I didn't really find that much. So hopefully this gave you a little bit of insight into what that looks like. Let me know if you guys have any questions below. I'm more than happy to answer. And if you want to see more of my adventures, go ahead and subscribe and hit that follow button. I am based in San Diego, California. I'm a mermaid and freedive instructor. And if you want to see more of my adventures, I'm more than happy to share and continue posting. So I will see you next time. Bye.